Hello, and happy day to you. Um, Today I want to talk about canvases. Canvases can be really confusing, and I made a bunch of different notes because throughout my painting career, I've tried them all, I think, and there are some differences. Now canvases, if you're a beginner, pre-made canvases you can purchase them at Walmart. And they've got a wide selection, at least as ours they do. Hobby Lobby, Michaels, Blick Art Supplies online. You just do a search in Google and you'll find a million of them. So pre-made canvases also come in different levels or different styles. They come in different thicknesses, like 7/8 or a 3/4 inch thick canvas is like, oops, sorry. This one, it's real thin. And then you've got 1.5 inch, and some of them are even thicker. And then if you stretch your own, which I don't do, but if you stretch your own, you can make them any thickness you want because you can cut the frame any size you want. Now, thinner canvases can warp over time. So I think that is pretty much why if you're going to a show or something, the 3/4 inch thick canvases, they want you to frame them. All the shows I've done, they want me to frame them, especially if I'm selling them, or any gallery I've talked to said if it's 3/4 inch, it does need to be in a thick frame. And that is because they do warp, and they warp over time, but easier than most. Like a thicker one will not warp. The thicker ones also don't have to be framed, and if they are framed, it's a pretty expensive frame. And usually a floating frame is what I've had in the past, where they just slip in and then you screw it into the back instead of, overlaying it. Let's see. So the less expensive ones are much better for beginners. Matter of fact, I started off with canvas boards like this, the real thin thing, and you'll see I've got this gessoed already, part of it. I'm going to do a little thing on gessoing here too in a minute. Let's see. The thinner ones, of course, they're lower quality. They don't have as much gesso. Although Michaels does sell, I think, a level 2 that has a coating of gesso on it. All gesso does is it makes it smoother. So a lot of people like the textured canvas, how it feels when it comes out of the package. A lot of people don't. And you can try one coating of gesso, or 2 or 3 to get it to the thickness you like, or the smoothness that you like. Gesso is kind of a thick white paint. This is it right here. And I use it sometimes. I don't use it all the time because I do like having texture on my canvas. I like people to be able to see that it is on canvas. And I personally like that look. Let's see. Oh, canvas panels. I talked about that. They do warp pretty easily. But if you do a canvas panel and you really, really like it, and it's something you want to keep, just slap it in a frame and don't put a glass on it. If you put a glass on it, it's going to stick to the acrylic paint over time. And if you do want to take it out, it's going to ruin the whole painting. So that's why they don't put glass on paintings, because it does stick. Unless I have allergies, of course. Of course, you can use a glass if you mat it and you have it separated by, what's it called? Like the little separator layers that they put on some of the most expensive paintings. And that way the glass sits way on top instead of on the painting itself. Let's see. The gesso canvases do usually cost more if it's pre-gessoed, because they take the time to go ahead and gesso the canvas before they stretch it. You can stretch your own canvas and make it any size you want. So it's not a standard size. You can make it, 82 1/4 by 19 1/10, whatever it is. And the problem is that you either have to find the wood pieces to make the frame to attach it to, that size, or you have to cut it yourself. Now, a lot of people are great with wood. Me, I'm not. And so I don't cut my own wood or I don't stretch my own canvases. And I probably won't, just because it's just a lot of work, and you have to be really strong, or get one of the canvas pullers. It's actually a tool, and it brings it over real tight over the edge, and then you have to staple it and then keep pulling it around. And there's a certain way you have to do that to make it work right. And that's just not something I do. Sorry, I'm a crafter, but stretching my own canvases just right now doesn't appeal to me. So, let's see. And of course, if you use the thicker canvases, usually you don't have to frame them. And what I do, my personal choice is I paint around the outside of the canvas. So I bring the painting all the way around. I just keep going both sides, and that is strictly up to you. And everybody is different. Just like we all paint differently, we all see things differently. I just like to carry mine around. And sometimes though, if I have a really stark painting that's like black, white, and yellow or something, I might just choose to make the outside black or white, or yellow. So there is that. It's really personal choice. Let's see. Canvas paper. Sorry, I'm reading my scribbly notes. So canvas paper. I've done a lot with canvas paper, and I liked it when I first started because it really is canvas. And what I learned to do, because it's really thin, it's not like paper, but it's pretty thin, it shakes and folds. And so what I would do is I would tape it down to like a hard piece of cardboard or a clipboard, depending on the size. And that way it would give me a hard surface when I was painting on it. It definitely won't sit on an easel. It's way too soft for that. You can also print on it. So you can print a design on it if you want to, and then paint it. And that way you don't have to trace anything. You just print it out and then just fill in the lines. And also for storage, what I did for mine is I covered them all with some, it's art paper. It's kind of like a wax paper. And I covered each one, and then I would roll them up, and you can roll them up pretty tight and put them in a tube. And I had some old tube from a shipping tube, which worked out really well. And so I've got my old paintings in that. They're probably destined for the trash can because, sometimes I look back at that stuff and people say, oh, that's so good. But yeah, it isn't, at least not to me. So we'll see, but it's fun to hang on to and go back and look at how you were doing when you first started, or, early on in your career. I guess that's about it as far as canvases go. It's really personal choice. Like I said, the 3/4, the thinner ones are really, they're just because they warp easier, they're more made for framing. And the thicker ones are a lot more expensive, at least where I'm at. They're a lot more expensive, but they also, all of them come in different levels. And usually it's based on how much gesso they've got on them. So like a level 3 might have 3 coats of gesso, let's say. A level 1 might just be standard canvas, and you get all of the little texture, the little divots in it. So, it's real hard to see, but canvas, you can feel it, and you can kind of see how rough that is. This is just a level 1, and it's pretty rough, but gesso would make it really smooth. I've also gessoed it, and I've taken a real light sandpaper and gone back over it and gessoed it again, and it made it really, really smooth for something I was trying to do. I don't remember what it was, but I just kind of wanted to try it. And it worked out good. It was a lot of work because you do have to let the gesso dry in between every single coat. So it's time and it's work, and it just depends on if that's what you like or not. So if you have any questions about canvases, let me know. When you're first starting out, you can use whatever you want. You can use paper. I never used paper because I was always hopeful that I would like it well enough that I could frame it. And that was my goal, is to make things that I really enjoyed making, not just a bunch of stuff I just have to throw away. And which I have done plenty of that, by the way. So I would use canvas sheets for canvas paper at first. Then I used the little canvas boards next. And then I kind of expanded or went different levels from there, and also different sizes. So I started out really small, like 8 by 10, I think. 8 by 8 was my smallest, I think I started with. Back then that seemed huge. And now it seems really small. So as you go through your painting career, things do change. You find what you like. You find if you like doing small detailed work or large, works of art that are much easier to paint because it's bigger space. Some people do find it's harder to paint because it's bigger space. And when I first started, it was harder for me. But I guess that's about it. And I just kind of wanted to touch base with you a little bit. If you have any questions about canvases or what's best, truly, I have found it's whatever's best for me at the moment. What works, what the texture I want, the size I want, and the thickness I want. And I do like the thicker canvases, but sometimes if they're large and I want to take it around the outside, it does take a lot of effort to do that as well, because I carry the whole design around. So you have to think about that and how you want to paint it. So all that kind of comes into play. But as a beginner, I would use a canvas board or canvas sheets, and kind of go from there. Canvas boards, of course, they come in all different sizes. And I've only seen canvas sheets, I think, in the 8.5 by 11 range. I'm not sure if they come in a different size. I need to check that out, don't I? And but that's about it. So I just wanted to kind of touch base with you and let you know about canvases. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And I'll put some links below. I don't get any payment from anybody on anything right now. I'm not affiliated with anybody. So, but I will put some links below of the ones that I have used in the past and purchased and really liked it. And but have the questions again, let me know. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.